lights were fading slow, like tired stars outside my window. And somewhere in the midnight blue, my lonely heart was leading me to you. I used to speak to empty rooms, pretending silence wasn't hurting, tracing circles on my skin, trying to quiet all the questions. Every night felt cold and weightless, every touch dissolved too fast. I was learning how to disappear inside the shadows of my past. But then your voice moved through me softly, like candlelight against the rain. And for the first time in forever, I didn't feel afraid. You looked at me like something worth holding, even with trembling hands. You stayed when your name became my safe place. I could finally breathe again, like a doorway opening slowly after years of living in the wind. Every broken part inside me started finding warmth to keep. And somewhere between your heartbeat and the silence underneath, I stopped running from the darkness, I stopped hiding from the pain. When your name became my safe place. There were nights I wore my sadness like a coat I couldn't take off, smiling only out of habit, while my soul was growing exhausted. Then your hands touched mine so gently, like you understood the storm, not trying to repair the damage, only keeping my heart warm. And the quiet way you listened made the whole world feel less loud, like the moon above the ocean, pulling lost waves closer now. You stayed near when I was unraveling, and somehow your love felt like home. When your name became my safe place, I could finally breathe again, like soft light reaching through the curtains into corners I had hidden in. Every fragile piece within me started learning how to heal. And somewhere in your arms at midnight, life became completely real. I stopped searching for an answer, I stopped waiting for escape. When your name became my safe place. Maybe love was never fireworks, maybe love was staying still. Maybe healing sounds like whispering, I'm here, and I always will. And all the fear I carried quietly began dissolving in your eyes, like winter finally breaking under April skies. When your name became my safe place, all my walls fell down like rain. And the girl who feared tomorrow finally wanted hope again. Now the midnight feels much softer, now the shadows know my name, because your love became the shelter that my heart could finally claim. And if the whole world disappeared tonight, I would still remain inside used to call the silence peace, used to wear distance like a silver lining. But the truth sounds different now in the middle of the night. I kept my suitcase by the doorway like I might disappear again. Every conversation shallow, every almost lover temporary then. I told myself I needed no one, said my heart worked better alone. Built my walls so tall and careful, even I could not get home. I chased freedom through the city lights, through strangers and empty rooms, thinking loneliness was strength somehow, just because it never asked the truth. But every night grew colder, every morning harder to explain why I felt invisible inside my own escape. I mistook loneliness for freedom, thought running meant I had control. But every road I kept avoiding only left another hollow in my soul. I was calling isolation peace while quietly falling apart, pretending I was unbreakable with a shattered heart. And now I know the difference between being free and being afraid. I mistook loneliness for freedom until your love made me stay. I learned how to leave before attachment, learned how not to need too much. Every hand that tried to hold me only met a softer version of my touch. I smiled like I understood myself, like independence was enough. But deep beneath the calm expression, I was starving for real love. Then you arrived without demanding, without trying to pull me close. You just stayed there in the quiet while my defenses slowly broke. And for the first time I didn't want to disappear. I wanted somebody to know I was here. I mistook loneliness for freedom, thought distance made me strong. But strength was never hiding from the place where I belonged. I spent years avoiding closeness, calling solitude my fate, while secretly praying someone would ask me to stay. Now your arms feel like an answer to every fear I tried to name. I mistook loneliness for freedom until your love remained. Maybe freedom isn't leaving, maybe freedom is being seen. Maybe love is not a prison, maybe love is finally breathing. And every locked door in my chest open quietly one by one. The moment I stopped running, the moment you came undone beside me. I mistook loneliness for freedom, but now the silence feels so loud, because your voice became the only place where I could lay my burdens down. And all the years I spent pretending start dissolving in your light. Now I understand what healing means, when somebody stays through the night. I don't need empty spaces anymore, I don't need to be untamed. I mistook loneliness for freedom until somebody loved me enough to remain. until you found me standing in the dark. I felt it before I understood it, like sunlight through closed curtains, quietly finding me. There was something changing slowly in the spaces underneath, tiny cracks inside the silence, letting softer feelings breathe. I started noticing the mornings, how the sky turned gold at dawn, how the emptiness I carried didn't feel as heavy anymore. And your voice would cross my memory without warning, without sound, like a fire gently waking beneath frozen ground. I didn't know what love was doing, didn't know my heart could move this way, but somewhere deep inside me, winter started fading. It was the warmth I couldn't explain, a quiet light beneath my skin, like your love had found the doorway before I ever let you in. Every lonely room inside me started filling up with air, and suddenly the world felt softer anytime you were there. I couldn't name the feeling then, but now I understand. It was your love slowly changing who I am. I used to walk through crowded streets like nobody could really see me, keeping all my fears folded deep where no one else could reach. But lately I've been leaving windows open, letting midnight breezes stay. Even my reflection looks different since you looked at me that way. And all the little things I buried start returning back to life, like flowers pushing through the concrete after endless nights. You never tried to fix me, you only stayed close enough for my guarded heart to finally believe in love. It was the space inside your name, because your love became the feeling I could never explain. You changed me quietly, like dawn changes the sky, before the world even realizes the night is gone. Some people arrive like accidents, some like seasons, but you felt like something my soul already knew. Through 1,000 moments, different cities, different skies, learning how to wear a smile while hiding storms behind my eyes. I let strangers hold my shadow, never letting them come close. Every temporary feeling only deepened what I lost. And somehow in the quiet spaces between who I was and who I'd be, your memory kept appearing like the tide returning to the sea. No matter how far I drifted, no matter what I tried to become, there was always something pulling me back toward your love. Every road quietly returned to you, every heartbreak, every mile, every lonely night I survived somehow was leading me back all the while, like gravity beneath the surface, like moonlight calling waves ashore. Your love kept finding me in silence, even before I understood what for. And now I see destiny wasn't loud, it moved softly through the blue. Every road quietly returned to you. There were years I called it closure, years I swore I'd move beyond, but certain songs still sounded like you. Every winter still felt wrong, and every unfamiliar doorway, every crowded neon street only taught my restless spirit what it truly wished to keep. Then one night beneath the skyline, your voice cut gently through the dark, and all the scattered pieces in me recognized your heart. Like I had spent my whole life searching Every season led me home. Every part of me that once felt lost found peace when I was no longer alone. Like rivers flowing toward the ocean, like dawn arriving after blue. Your love became the final answer to every question I walked through. And if I had another lifetime, I know somehow I'd still find you. Because every road quietly returned to you. Even before I knew your name, my heart was already on its way back to you. After enough storms, you stop expecting sunlight until someone arrives carrying it quietly. I spent years beneath gray weather, holding thunder in my chest, learning how to smile politely while exhaustion stole my rest. Every love felt temporary, like cold rain against the skin. Something beautiful for moments, then disappearing with the wind. But you entered without warning, without fireworks or noise, just a calmness in your presence that softened every broken choice. And slowly I remembered what hope was supposed to feel like. Not loud, not reckless, just warm enough to stay. Some hearts arrive like morning light, slowly coloring the sky. After endless nights of sorrow, after teaching tears to dry. Not demanding to be noticed, not forcing darkness into flight, just gently making everything warmer. Some hearts arrive like morning light, and yours found me when I had forgotten the world could still be bright. I used to fear attachment, like love would only disappear. So I carried all my distance, like protection made from fear. But your kindness kept unfolding like dawn across the sea. And every quiet conversation brought forgotten parts of me. Now the silence feels less lonely, now the future feels less far, because your love moves through my spirit like sunlight through the dark. You never rushed my healing, you just stayed through every shade of blue. And somewhere in the stillness, my heart began trusting you. Some hearts arrive like morning fading one by one. The moment your tenderness reached where fear had come from. Some hearts arrive like morning light, and yours arrived for me when I was lost inside the winter. Certain warmth could never reach me, but now the sky inside my spirit carries gold instead of gray, and every road ahead feels softer since your love began to stay. After endless storms and sleepless nights, after years of asking why, you appeared so quietly, like the sunrise in my life. Some hearts don't save you loudly, they simply stay long enough for darkness to become dawn. You never said forever, but somehow I heard it anyway. Dim with midnight shadows, streetlights trembling through the rain, your hand resting close beside mine without trying to explain. No dramatic declarations, no promises carved in gold, just the quiet way you stayed there when the night felt cold. And all the noise inside me softened, every fear began to slow, like my restless heart was listening to something only silence knows. You looked at me gently, like leaving was impossible. And suddenly, I wasn't afraid anymore. I heard forever in your silence, in the calm between your breaths, and the way your eyes kept holding me, like I was worth protecting yet. No fireworks or perfect speeches, no desperate need to prove, just the steady warmth beside me, telling me the truth. And somehow the quiet spoke louder than words could ever do. I heard forever in your silence with me. I used to need reassurance, needed language I could trust, 'cause people leave so easily when feelings fade to dust. But your love moved differently, soft as snowfall in the dark, never asking for attention, still illuminating my heart. And every small unspoken moment started healing hidden scars, like moonlight touching ocean waves without disturbing who they are. You never tried to convince me, you simply stayed close enough for my guarded soul to finally believe in love. I heard forever in your silence, in the stillness of your touch, in the patient way you listened when the world became too much. No promises made for display, no fragile words rehearsed, just your presence wrapping softly around every hurt. And now even the space. Your steady heart became. I heard forever in your silence, like dawn arriving after rain, like warmth returning to a window after years of winter pain. And now I understand, devotion doesn't always need a sound. Sometimes love is simply someone who never lets you drown. And if the whole world faded slowly into midnight shades of blue, I would still hear forever every time the room grows quiet with you. You never had to say it, your silence already did. And somehow I believed every word. Didn't know how to stay, didn't know how to trust softness, but somehow he loved me anyway. I carried old storms in my bloodstream, old echoes underneath my skin. Every kindness made me nervous, like love was something temporary again. I learned to hide behind composure, learned to speak without revealing. Every wound I never touched quietly controlled my feelings. And when you first reached for my hand, I almost disappeared from view. Because broken hearts forget sometimes what gentle people do. But you stayed patient through every silence and scar. You loved the parts of me I could barely look at myself. You loved me before I knew how, before my heart could understand how to stop expecting distance, how to let somebody in again. You held my trembling shadows without asking them to change. And slowly your kindness taught me love does not have to hurt this way. I was still learning how to heal, still learning how to trust somehow. But you loved me before I knew how. There were nights I spoke in fragments, nights my sadness filled the room. And I waited for your footsteps to disappear like others do. But your voice stayed soft beside me, like candlelight against the dark. Never rushing my emotions, never pulling me apart. And every small act of tenderness began undoing years of fear. Like winter slowly melting when spring finally appears. You saw through all my defenses without trying to tear them down. from sorrow started falling one by one. Inside the warmth of your compassion, I became someone softer than before. You loved me before I knew how, before I could believe in light, before the fear inside my spirit stopped keeping me awake at night. You held me through the quiet damage, through every hidden ache somehow. And now my heart is finally learning what your love was teaching all along. The tenderness can still survive. That safe hand still exists somehow, because you loved me before I knew how. You waited for my heart before it even knew it wanted to be loved by you. There's a moment before surrender, a breath between holding on and letting yourself be loved. I can feel the edge beneath me, like standing barefoot near the sea. One more step and all my guarded silence could finally release me. Your eyes move through me slowly, like you already understand every fear I've hidden carefully inside these trembling hands. And the night feels suspended, like the stars forgot to move, while my heartbeat keeps asking if I should trust you. Because loving you feels beautiful, but beautiful things can break. And I don't know if my fragile heart can survive another wave. So here I am, in the space between fear and falling, between protecting myself and answering your calling. Every part of me is shaking, every wall is growing thin, and your love feels like the safest place I've never fully stepped within. I'm standing on the edge of something soft enough to change my life. In the space between fear and falling, I think I'm ready this time. You never asked for perfect, never needed me to hide. You just stayed through every silence with tenderness in your eyes. And slowly I began noticing how different the world can seem when somebody loves your broken pieces without trying to make them clean. Now even the quiet moments carry warmth I can't ignore, like my soul already knows you from somewhere before. And maybe trust is not a lightning strike, maybe it's softer than that. Maybe it's simply deciding not to turn back. So here I am, in the this night, and all the years I spent escaping start dissolving in your light, like winter finally breaking into springtime skies. Now here I am, past the space between fear and falling, your arms around my shaking soul, while the midnight rain is calling, and every lonely version of me feels farther away somehow, because your love became the answer to the questions I carry now. I thought surrender meant weakness, but your tenderness proved me wrong. In the space between fear and falling, I finally found where I belong. I was afraid to fall until your love felt like wings instead. The night used to feel endless until your voice started living inside it. My thoughts used to move like shadows, restless waves without a shore. Every quiet room felt heavier than the night before. I carried storms behind my eyelids, sleepless circles in my chest, trying to outrun my own emotions, trying not to need rest. Then your voice entered softly, like distant light through falling rain, and suddenly the chaos in me didn't ache the same. You became the calm inside my overthinking heart, like moonlight stretching silver across the dark. Now it's your voice inside my restless mind, turning midnight into peace, like a prayer drifting slowly through every part of me. When the world becomes too heavy, when my fears begin to rise, your words move through the silence like stars across the sky. And somehow just remembering you makes the loneliness unwind. Now it's your voice inside my restless mind. I still wake beneath old worries, still lose sleep some nights alone, but your laughter echoes warmly like I'm already safe at home. And every memory of your kindness wraps around me like a dream, soft enough to quiet thunder, soft enough to let me breathe. Now the darkness feels less and less, now the cold feels less severe, because somewhere in the silence I can still feel you near. You never tried to save me, you only loved me gently through, and somehow your tenderness taught my heart what peace can do. restless mind. I carried for years starts dissolving little by little. Whenever I remember the softness in your tone, now it's your voice inside my restless mind, turning fear into release, like dawn arriving slowly after nights without sleep. And all the versions of me feel farther away each time, because your love became a refuge I can carry deep inside. If tomorrow falls uncertain, if the whole world leaves me blind, I would still find my way back home, to your voice inside my restless mind. Inside the quiet, inside the dark, inside my restless mind. It's been so long, bracing for impact, that I forgot love could feel soft. Touch my hand like fragile glass, like tenderness still matters. No sudden movements, no sharp edges, no love that disappears after. And every time you say my name, it sounds like someplace safe, like all the storms I survived before no longer need to stay. I used to mistake chaos for passion, used to think pain proved something real, but your quiet way of loving me changed how my whole heart feels. Because with you, I don't have to shrink or hide, I can finally let the frightened parts rest tonight. Nothing else ever felt this warm, like moonlight resting on the ocean, like shelter from a lifelong storm. And every broken piece inside me softens underneath your touch. I never knew love could be peaceful, I never knew it could feel this much. Now even silence feels beautiful when you're ever felt this gentle. The nights don't scare me like they used to, not when your heart beats near mine. And somehow all my restless thinking grows quieter over time. You never asked me to be perfect, never needed me to pretend. You just stayed through every shadow again and again and again, and slowly ever felt this gentle. Maybe real love whispers softly. Maybe safety sounds like this. A calm voice in the darkness, a slow, unshaking kiss. And every wall I built from sorrow falls quieter than before, because your tenderness keeps reaching places no one reached before. Nothing else ever felt this gentle, like your arms around my soul, like finally finding stillness after years of losing control. And every future I imagine feels softer painted next to you, because your love became the first thing that ever truly felt secure. Now I understand why healing can sometimes arrive so still. Nothing else ever felt this gentle. Stay here beside me, where the world turns quiet, where love stops hurting and finally becomes home. I spent so many years looking outward for something that was already waiting quietly beside me. I used to search through crowded places, hoping someone's eyes would stay, like love was hidden somewhere far beyond me, just one more city away. Every fleeting conversation, every almost love I knew was really just my lonely heart trying to find its way to you. I kept mistaking unfamiliarity for something deep and rare, but every empty spark faded quickly, leaving colder air. And all this time you were loving me softly, while I was still searching for what I already had. I stopped searching in strangers' eyes when I finally saw myself in yours, not as someone temporary, not as someone needing more. You looked at me with quiet certainty, like my soul was already home. And suddenly all the wandering inside me didn't feel endless anymore, because the love I thought was missing was beside me all along. I stopped searching in strangers' eyes when I realized where I belonged. I thought love had to arrive loudly, like fireworks against the dark, but yours moved slowly through my life until it settled in my heart. And now even ordinary moments feel sacred when you're near, like drinking coffee in the silence while your warmth dissolves my fear. I no longer chase illusions, no longer need to prove I'm worthy somehow, because your steady hands keep teaching me what safe love feels like now. You were never trying to impress me, simply stayed through every season blue, and that became the difference between loneliness and truth. fully trust until now. I stopped searching in strangers' eyes and found forever in your gaze. Found a calmness deeper than excitement. Found a warmth that chose to stay. And now the world feels softer, like dawn after endless rain. Because your love became the missing piece I could never name. No more running toward reflections, no more lonely neon nights. I stopped searching in strangers' eyes when your love finally taught me what home feels like. You were never missing, I was only lost until your eyes brought me back. For so long, my thoughts sounded like storms, until one quiet night, everything softened. I used to lie awake for hours, counting fears instead of stars, holding conversations with the dark inside invisible scars. Every future felt uncertain, every silence felt too loud, like my restless soul was drowning beneath invisible clouds. And even peaceful moments frightened me, like calm could disappear. So I carried tension in my body, like armor made from fear. But then your hand found mine in the middle of the night, and somehow the chaos inside me stopped fighting for a while. It was the night my heart finally grew quiet, started dissolving in your light, like snowfall melting softly at sunrise. It was the night my heart finally grew quiet, the night I finally let go of all the pain I carried secretly beneath the skin. No one could know, and now the darkness feels less endless. Now tomorrow feels less cold, because your love became the silence that gently healed my soul. No more running from my own reflection, no more trembling through the blue. It was the night my heart finally grew quiet, lying safely next to you. And in the quiet I found peace inside your arms, inside me. I used to think heaven was somewhere far away, beyond these stars, beyond this world. But thought I heard your heartbeat beside mine. There's a quiet glow around you, like dawn touching stained glass skies. And every time you hold me close, the darkness loosens from my mind. I've searched for peace in empty places, and prayers whisper through the blue, but nothing ever felt as holy as the silence shared with you. And when the world becomes too heavy, your voice steadies every fear, like grace descending softly whenever you are near. Maybe eternity isn't distant, maybe paradise begins in the gentle way you love me again and again. If heaven exists, it sounds like us, like your heartbeat next to mine, like slow dancing in the kitchen under sleeping city lights, like whispered words at midnight, like tears turning into trust. If angels sing somewhere above us, I swear they sound like us. And every broken part inside me finds peace within your touch. If heaven exists, it sounds like us. You hold my trembling spirit like something sacred in your hands, never rushing my emotions, only loving who I am. Suddenly, forever feels possible, not frightening like before, because your love moves through my soul like waves against the shore. Now even quiet conversations feel bigger than the stars, like something timeless found us exactly where we are. Maybe miracles are smaller than we imagined growing up. Maybe heaven lives inside like two hearts finally at peace, like finding warmth inside the winter, like storms learning how to sleep, like every prayer I never finished being answered all at once, in the sacred calm between us, in the way you say my love. And if tomorrow disappears somehow, I would still have known enough, because for one beautiful lifetime, heaven sounded like I've already heard it every time you whisper my name. There were years I barely survived, years the world felt colder than it should, but somehow you kept finding me in the dark. I remember winter in my spirit, long before the seasons changed. Days that blurred into exhaustion, nights I couldn't explain. I wore smiles like fragile disguises, learned how to disappear in crowds, while my heart kept carrying thunder, too heavy to speak out loud. And everyone saw me breathing, so nobody questioned the pain. But you looked deeper than the surface and stayed through every rain. You never asked me to heal quickly, never turned away from who I was then. You simply carried warmth beside me, again and again. You carried light into my darkest years, when I could barely see my own way through, when every hope inside me faded. Your love remained true, and even when my soul felt shattered, even when the nights were endless blue, you stood beside my breaking spirit, like dawn breaking softly through. I survived because your kindness never stopped reaching for my heart. You carried light into my darkest years, before I knew where healing starts. There were nights I feared tomorrow, certain joy would never stay, certain I was far too broken to deserve a gentler way. But your hands kept holding mine without needing me repaired, and slowly all the silence in me began believing someone cared. Now I look back at those seasons like storms fading from the shore, and I realize your love protected me long before I understood what for. You became the calm reminder, the pain would not define my you gave a hand in the darkness when I forgot how to be brave. You carried light into my darkest years. Now the sunrise finally reaches me. Now the girl who feared forever can imagine what forever means. And all the nights that nearly broke me feel farther away somehow, because your love kept burning softly, even when I could not feel it myself. I will spend the rest of my lifetime thanking heaven I made it through, because when I was lost in endless darkness, your love became the light I followed too. You stayed through the winter until my heart remembered spring, and I'll never forget the light you carried for me. I used to fear tomorrow until I started imagining it with you beside me. I spent years afraid of growing older, like time would only take away. Every dream felt temporary, every love too fragile to stay. But lately when I close my eyes, the future doesn't scare me now. I see sunlight through quiet windows, silver strands beneath your brow. I see our shoes beside the doorway, coffee cooling near the bed. Little ordinary moments I once believed I'd never have, and somehow forever stopped feeling distant the moment your hand found mine. Like my restless heart finally discovered a softer kind of time. The future looks softer beside you, like warm light falling through the rain. Like all the years ahead of us would never feel lonely again. I can picture every season, every wrinkle, every change, and somehow love still looks beautiful, even decades away, because your arms make tomorrow feel gentle instead of unknown. The future looks softer beside you, like somewhere I could finally call home. I imagine slow walks in autumn, your laughter echoing through leaves. Late night talks in quiet kitchens, still losing sleep beside me. I imagine storms arriving and us surviving hand in hand, growing older without losing the tenderness we understand. And maybe we won't always have answers, maybe life will still break through, but somehow every uncertainty feels lighter next to you, because love no longer feels temporary, no longer something I look softer beside you for the very first time. Maybe true love is not perfection. Maybe it's simply choosing still to stay through every changing season, to keep each other warm and real. And all the years I feared the future start dissolving in your light, because suddenly forever feels peaceful instead of endless night. The future looks softer beside you, like dawn after a lifetime storm. Like every road ahead is glowing with quiet devotion and warmth. I can see us growing slowly, still in love when the years turn gray, still reaching for each other softly at the end of every day. And if time takes everything, eventually there's one thing it cannot undo: the way tomorrow became beautiful, the moment I imagined it with you. Grow old with me, slowly, gently, like sunlight staying after the rain. Whenever you held me close, everything slowed into something softer. Streetlights flickered through the window, rain moved slowly down the glass, and somehow in your quiet presence the whole night started moving so fast. Your fingers tracing circles gently across the back of trembling hands made ordinary little moments feel bigger than we planned. The clock kept turning somewhere distant, but inside your arms it disappeared, like time itself forgot to hurry whenever you were near. And suddenly forever didn't feel impossible anymore. It felt like this room, this silence, this warmth. Even time slowed down around us, like the stars were holding still, like the universe grew quieter just to hear the way we feel. Every second felt endless, every breath a softer hue, and all the ordinary moments turned beautiful with you. Like midnight learned to linger, like dawn refused to break apart. Even time slowed down around us the moment you touched my heart. We stayed awake until the sunrise, talking softly through the blue, and every word you whispered gently felt sacred in Maybe heaven hides in moments that the world keeps passing by, and all the fear I carried for years faded slowly from my chest, because loving you made even time finally feel like rest. Even time slowed down around us. Now forever feels alive, like the stars themselves grew closer just to watch this love survive. And every future I imagine still begins the same way too. Quiet rooms and golden sunlight wrapped around the thought of you. If eternity exists somewhere, I think it looks like this somehow. Two hearts breathing softly together while the whole world slows down. Stay here a little longer. Let the night forget to end. Even time feels softer with you. For so long, I felt like a stranger to myself, until your love brought me back home. I used to move through life distracted, like I was only half awake, smiling through conversations while my soul quietly drifted away. I forgot the sound of stillness, forgot what peace was meant to be. Every mirror held a version I could barely recognize as me. And somewhere beneath the chaos, beneath the fear and constant noise, my heart kept waiting silently for something gentle enough to heal it. Then your love arrived softly, without trying to change who I was. And somehow the broken pieces started remembering themselves. I could finally recognize my heart in the calmness of your arms, in the way you loved me slowly, without demanding I become someone. And every hidden part of me started breathing back to life, like your tenderness uncovered who I was beneath the fight. I spent years feeling disconnected from the soul inside my chest, until your love became the mirror where I finally saw myself. You listened when I spoke in fragments, stayed when silence filled the room, never rushing my emotions, never asking me to bloom too soon. And all the little things I buried started returning one by one. Dreams I thought had disappeared forever began reaching toward the sun. Now the nights don't feel so heavy, now the future feels more clear, because loving you reminded me there's still beauty living here. You didn't rescue me dramatically, you simply stayed close. 'cause your love helped me remember who I am now. Maybe healing is not becoming someone new. Maybe healing is returning to the self you lost beneath the pain, the self still quietly burning. And every lonely version of me still echoes through my chest. But now your love surrounds those memories with gentleness instead. I could finally recognize my heart like dawn after endless rain, like finding my own reflection without shame. And all the years I spent surviving no longer define my soul, because your love became the safe place where I finally became whole. Now the girl who feared her own emotions can stand inside the light, because your love gave me back myself, one quiet night at a time. You loved me gently until I remembered the sound of my own heart. I spent so many years believing love was somewhere far away, waiting behind another door, another city, another face. But I was wrong. I kept chasing unfamiliar feelings, like distance made them more real. Every temporary spark only deepened what I couldn't heal. I thought love would arrive dramatically, like lightning tearing through the blue. But all along the quiet answer was standing here with you. And every road I wandered blindly, every restless midnight train was only leading me back softly to the warmth I couldn't name. Because your love never demanded, never disappeared with time. It stayed through every season until my soul finally opened its eyes. Love was never waiting somewhere else, never hidden past the stars. It was here inside your steady hands, inside your patient heart. And all the years I spent searching for something distant, bright and new, were really just my heart learning slowly how to recognize you. Now I understand forever was never out beyond myself. Love was never waiting somewhere else. I remember all the lonely evenings, thinking something still was missing, while your voice was already calming every fear I kept resisting. You stayed through every broken version, through every storm beneath my skin, never asking me to become perfect, only asking me to let you in. And now the world feels different somehow, softer underneath the rain, because your love became the answer to questions I could never explain. You were the quiet miracle chase so desperately fades softly into blue, because nothing I imagined could ever compare to you. I was never waiting somewhere else. It was here through every year, through every tear and sleepless midnight, quietly drawing near. And now the girl who feared forever can finally stand inside the light, because your love stayed beside her long enough to change her life. No more searching distant horizons, no more lonely wishing wells, because all along the love I needed was never somewhere else. You were always here, softly waiting, while my heart learned how to come home. The world feels quieter tonight, like everything fragile knows how much I love you. The city lights are slowly fading, rain moves softly down the glass, and your heartbeat near my shoulder makes time feel delicate and vast. I've spent so long afraid of endings, afraid beautiful things disappear, because love this sacred feels impossible to hold without fear. So I memorize the silence, the warmth beneath your skin, like my soul already knows nothing this perfect lasts forever. But if tomorrow steals the daylight, if the stars stop shining blue, promise me this moment stays alive inside me and you. Stay until the world falls silent, stay until the sky stands still, stay until the ocean's empty and the moon forgets the hills, because your love became the only place my restless heart feels whole. And I don't know who I'd become if I ever lost your soul. So hold me through the fragile dark, like dawn holding on tonight. Stay until the world falls silent and love becomes our final light. There's something holy in your breathing, something peaceful in your eyes, like heaven found a quiet language the night our lonely spirits collided. And every small ordinary moment feels infinite beside you now. Coffee cups and whispered laughter carry eternity somehow. I never knew devotion could feel this calm and true, like my entire life was leading toward this room and you. And even if time keeps moving, even if seasons disappear, I want your name beside my heartbeat, year after year. Stay until the Every lonely version of me would still choose this life again, just to feel your hand reach softly through the dark and pull me in. Stay until the world falls silent, until the final midnight sky, until every clock stops turning and the galaxies run dry. Because your love became my shelter, my peace beneath the endless storm. And it forever truly exists somewhere, it lives inside your arms. So when the last light disappears and the stars forget to shine, stay until the world falls silent, and let your heart stay close to mine. Stay even after the silence, even after the night. Stay. I spent my whole life searching through storms, through silence, through strangers, only to discover my heart had been walking toward you all along. Every lonely night I survived through, every road beneath cold skies, every fear that shaped my spirit, every unanswered why, every almost love that faded, every dream that fell apart, was quietly teaching my restless soul how to recognize your heart. And all the years I called confusion, all the tears I hid away, were leading me toward this moment more than words could ever say. 'Cause even when I felt abandoned, even when hope disappeared from view, something deep inside kept reaching somewhere closer to you. My soul returned toward every version of love I imagined. Every prayer I carried through was only a shadow of the feeling waiting here with you. And now I understand why nothing else ever felt completely true. Because in the end, it was always you. Healing in every softened part of me, and every time I chose to stay alive. When sadness ran too deep, your love became the quiet answer to questions I could never name, like destiny moving gently through every season of pain. And now the girl who feared tomorrow can finally stand in the light, because your hands kept holding on to mine through every endless night. You loved me before I knew myself, before my heart could fully bloom. And somehow all my wandering led me safely to this room. And in the end, every piece of who I was becoming would eventually lead to you. And all the nights I spent believing I was too lost to be found now feel like echoes fading softly as your heartbeat fills the sound. And in the end, it was always you. Through every winter, every flame, through every lonely version of myself, quietly calling your name. You were the hope inside my darkness, the peace beneath my fear, the one my soul kept searching for even before you appeared. And if this life were written backward, I would still choose every blue, because every road, every scar, every heartbeat still would have led me to you. Yes, in the end, after all the wandering, after all the healing, it was all